Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, the legendary composer whose timeless works have transcended centuries, lived a life filled with extraordinary talent and intrigue. Yet in the final years of his life, Mozart wrote a haunting letter. He believed he was being poisoned and would not live long. Tragically, not long after, at the age of 35, Mozart died suddenly and under mysterious circumstances. Was Mozart's letter a prophecy of his fate? Or was it merely a reflection of his anxiety amid the pressures of life? This question has puzzled historians and music lovers for generations. Join us as we explore the genius of Mozart, the mysteries surrounding his final days, and the tragic death that has continued to spark intrigue for over 2 centuries. To fully grasp the significance of Mozart's haunting letter and his premonition of death, we must first look back at the extraordinary journey that led him to become one of the greatest composers in history. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was born on January 27, 1756, in Salzburg, Austria, into a musical family. His father, Leopold Mozart, was a respected composer and music teacher who quickly recognized Wolfgang's exceptional talent. By the time Mozart was 3, he was already showing an uncanny ability to mimic melodies on the clavier. At the age of 5, Mozart composed his first pieces of music. Remarkably sophisticated works for such a young child. His father wasted no time in introducing him to the courts of Europe, where he performed for kings, queens, and aristocrats. From Vienna to Paris, London to Prague, the young Mozart dazzled audiences with his mastery of the keyboard and violin, his improvisational skill, and his ability to compose original works on the spot. As Mozart grew, so did his genius. His compositions were nothing short of revolutionary, combining intricate technical brilliance with profound emotional depth. Works like his Symphony No. 41, Jupiter Symphony, The Marriage of Figaro, and Don Giovanni broke new ground in structure, harmony, and storytelling. His music transcended the conventions of the classical era, introducing a level of complexity and humanity that continues to move listeners to this day. Mozart's operas in particular were a revelation. Unlike many composers of his time, he infused his characters with psychological depth, exploring their emotions and relationships in ways that felt deeply personal. His ability to convey the human experience through music set him apart as a true innovator. Mozart's brilliance, however, did not come without challenges. His exceptional talent made him a star, but it also attracted envy and rivalry. The competitive world of 18th century music was rife with intrigue, and Mozart often found himself at odds with other composers and patrons. Despite these challenges, Mozart's music continued to shine, earning him a reputation as a fearless artist who pushed the boundaries of what was possible. His journey from a child prodigy to a musical icon is a testament to his relentless creativity, passion, and dedication to his craft. Mozart's early rise to fame and his groundbreaking contributions to music set the stage for his remarkable, yet tragically short life. To understand the mystery of his haunting letter and his premonition of death, we must first appreciate the incredible journey that defined him as one of history's most extraordinary geniuses. Even though Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was a musical genius, his life was far from easy. Alongside his immense talent and groundbreaking success came significant challenges, financial pressures, intense rivalries, and constant struggles to maintain stability in his life and career. Despite his widespread fame and the brilliance of his work, Mozart often found himself in financial trouble. Known for his lavish lifestyle, Mozart's spending habits frequently outpaced his income. Whether it was his passion for fine clothes, luxurious accommodations, or elaborate social gatherings. His expenses quickly added up. Unfortunately, his financial difficulties were exacerbated by the inconsistent support of patrons and the unpredictable nature of commissions. While he earned a substantial income from his compositions and performances, the irregularity of these opportunities left him vulnerable to debt. By the latter part of his life, Mozart's financial situation became increasingly precarious. Letters to his friends and family reveal his desperation as he sought loans and struggled to maintain his household. This stark contrast between his artistic achievements and personal struggles adds a poignant layer to his story. Mozart's extraordinary talent made him a star, but it also attracted rivals. In the competitive world of 18th century classical music, jealousy and political intrigue were common. One of the most notable rivalries associated with Mozart was with Antonio Salieri, a fellow composer and court musician in Vienna. While some accounts suggest that the two respected each other professionally, others fuel the idea of a bitter competition between them. This rivalry became the subject of much speculation, especially after Salieri was later accused of poisoning Mozart, a claim largely debunked by historians. Nevertheless, the tension between the two composers, real or imagined, has become an enduring aspect of Mozart's legacy. Beyond Salieri, Mozart also faced challenges from other composers and musicians who sought to undermine his success. Vienna's vibrant but politically charged music scene created an atmosphere of intrigue and backstabbing. Navigating this environment required not only talent but also diplomacy, a skill that Mozart sometimes struggled to master. Vienna, the cultural and political heart of the Habsburg Empire, was both an opportunity and a challenge for Mozart. On one hand, it offered him access to influential patrons, prestigious theaters, and a sophisticated audience. On the other, it was a city rife with political maneuvering and social stratification. Mozart's independent spirit often clashed with the expectations of his time. Unlike many composers who relied on steady court positions, Mozart sought creative freedom, which sometimes put him at odds with potential benefactors. This choice, while admirable, came with significant risks, as it meant he lacked the financial security enjoyed by other court musicians. Despite these difficulties, Mozart's brilliance shone through. He continued to compose works of unparalleled beauty and complexity, even as he grappled with the pressures of fame and the realities of life in Vienna. His ability to create such transcendent music while facing relentless challenges speaks to the resilience and determination of his spirit. Mozart's struggles remind us that even the greatest geniuses are not immune to the hardships of life. Behind the masterpieces lay a man who fought tirelessly to balance his art, his finances, and the demands of a competitive world. These challenges, while daunting, ultimately shaped Mozart's legacy as one of history's most enduring and in the final year of his life, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart faced mounting pressure and a deteriorating health condition. It was during this turbulent time, in 1791, that he penned a letter revealing a disturbing suspicion. He believed he was being poisoned. This letter, filled with fear and anxiety, has since become one of the most intriguing and debated aspects of his mysterious death. In the letter, Mozart confided his growing belief that someone was attempting to poison him. He described his physical weakness, persistent illness, and an overwhelming sense of paranoia. To him, the symptoms were not merely signs of natural decline, but evidence of a sinister plot. Mozart referred to his condition as a poisoning, claiming that someone wanted to stop him from completing what would be his final masterpiece, the Requiem. He expressed a deep sense of foreboding, as if he were certain that his life was nearing its end. The pressures Mozart faced during this period were immense. Financial struggles, professional rivalries, and the demands of completing multiple compositions had taken a toll on both his mind and body. The Requiem, commissioned anonymously, added an air of mystery and urgency to his final months. Mozart's belief that he was writing this piece for his own funeral only deepened his sense of dread. His physical symptoms, persistent fever, swelling, and severe fatigue, fueled his fears. Combined with the stress of his workload and the competitive atmosphere of Vienna's music scene, it is not surprising that Mozart's mental state became fragile. Historians and biographers have long debated whether Mozart's claim of being poisoned was rooted in reality or a product of his imagination. Some argue that his suspicions may have stemmed from the widespread belief in poisoning during the 18th century, a time when political intrigue and rivalries often led to such accusations. Others suggest that his declining health and the stress of his circumstances led to a heightened sense of paranoia. Modern medical analyses have proposed several natural causes for his symptoms, including rheumatic fever, kidney failure, or streptococcal infection, all of which could have been exacerbated by exhaustion and malnutrition. Whether Mozart's fears were justified or not, the letter remains a haunting glimpse into the final days of a genius. It captures a man grappling with the weight of his legacy, the demands of his art, and the fragility of his own mortality. Mozart's words continue to spark curiosity and debate, inviting us to explore not only the circumstances of his death but also the pressures that shaped his extraordinary life. Was his letter a cry for help, a premonition of his fate, or simply the result of immense stress? The answers may remain elusive, but the mystery adds a poignant chapter to the story of one of history's greatest composers. As his health rapidly declined in the final months of his life, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart embarked on composing one of his most haunting and enduring works, the Requiem. This monumental piece of music, steeped in mystery and emotion, would become a symbol of his own mortality and the challenges he faced in his final days. The Requiem was commissioned by an anonymous patron in mid-1791, adding an air of intrigue to its creation. Historical accounts suggest that a messenger approached Mozart with the request on behalf of a wealthy count who intended to claim the composition as his own. The secrecy surrounding the commission, combined with Mozart's already fragile state of mind, deepened his sense of foreboding. For Mozart, the circumstances of the commission were unsettling. He reportedly told his wife, Constanze, that he believed he was composing the Requiem for his own funeral. This conviction infused the work with profound emotion, as Mozart poured his fears, doubts, and reflections on life and death into the music. Despite his worsening health, Mozart worked tirelessly on the Requiem, often pushing himself to the brink of exhaustion. He struggled with persistent fever, severe fatigue, and swelling, yet he remained deeply committed to completing the piece. The Requiem became a final testament to his genius and a way to confront his own mortality. The music reflects this emotional intensity, with its soaring melodies, intricate harmonies, and dramatic contrasts capturing a powerful sense of urgency and despair. From the somber opening introitus to the fiery dies irae, the Requiem is both a prayer for the dead and a deeply personal expression of Mozart's fears and hopes. Tragically, Mozart passed away on December 5, 1791. Before he could complete the Requiem, his death left the composition unfinished, with only portions of the piece fully realized. Following his passing, his student Franz Xaver Süssmayr completed the work, using Mozart's notes and sketches to bring the Requiem to completion. Despite being unfinished by Mozart himself, the Requiem remains one of his most celebrated and poignant works. It is a testament to his ability to channel his emotions into music, creating a piece that resonates with audiences to this day. The story of the Requiem is inseparable from the story of Mozart's final days. It is a work born of struggle, mystery, and profound emotion, reflecting the genius of a composer whose life ended far too soon. Through the Requiem, Mozart left the world a piece of music that continues to inspire awe and reverence, a final gift from one of history's greatest composers. The sudden death of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart at the age of 35 sent shockwaves across Europe and left the world mourning the loss of one of its greatest musical geniuses. The mysterious circumstances of his passing, coupled with his letter expressing fears of being poisoned, have led to centuries of speculation and debate. Was Mozart's death the result of foul play, natural causes, or the toll of an overwhelming life? One of the most enduring theories surrounding Mozart's death is that he was poisoned by a rival. At the center of this speculation is Antonio Salieri, a fellow composer and court musician in Vienna. While historical records indicate that Mozart and Salieri had a professional rivalry, the extent of their animosity has often been exaggerated. The idea that Salieri poisoned Mozart gained traction in the decades following Mozart's death, fueled by dramatic works like Alexander Pushkin's play, Mozart and Salieri, and later the film Amadeus. However, there is little concrete evidence to support this claim. Salieri himself denied the accusations, and many historians have dismissed the theory as a myth born from artistic embellishment. Despite the lack of evidence, the poisoning theory remains one of the most fascinating aspects of Mozart's death, capturing the imagination of generations. Modern historians and medical experts tend to favor the theory that Mozart died from natural causes. Records from the time describe symptoms such as fever, swelling, and severe pain, which align with several potential medical conditions. One leading hypothesis is that Mozart succumbed to rheumatic fever, a common and often fatal illness in the 18th century. Others suggest kidney failure or a streptococcal infection, which could have been exacerbated by the harsh conditions of his life and the limited medical knowledge of the time. Without modern diagnostic tools, the exact cause of Mozart's death remains uncertain. However, these natural explanations offer a more plausible alternative to the dramatic idea of poisoning. In addition to physical illness, the immense pressures Mozart faced likely contributed to his decline. By the time of his death, Mozart was juggling multiple commissions, including the Requiem, while struggling with financial difficulties and the demands of his growing family. The stress of his workload, combined with the competitive and politically charged environment of Vienna's music scene, may have weakened his body and mind. His relentless pursuit of artistic perfection, while producing some of the greatest works in musical history, may also have come at a significant personal cost. The true cause of Mozart's death may never be known, but the mystery adds an enduring layer of intrigue to his life story. Whether his letter about being poisoned was a reflection of reality, paranoia, or metaphorical language remains a topic of debate among scholars and fans alike. Though Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's life was tragically short, his legacy has endured for centuries, leaving an indelible mark on the world of music and beyond. His works continue to inspire audiences worldwide, transcending time and culture to remind us of the power of artistic brilliance. Following Mozart's untimely death in 1791, his unfinished Requiem was completed by his student, Franz Xaver Süssmayr. Using Mozart's sketches and notes, Süssmayr worked to honor his teacher's vision, finishing the composition in a way that preserved its emotional depth and complexity. The Requiem remains one of Mozart's most celebrated works, its haunting melodies and profound themes resonating deeply with audiences. It serves not only as a testament to Mozart's genius, but also as a poignant symbol of his mortality and the mystery surrounding his final days. Mozart's extraordinary life and enigmatic death have inspired countless works of art, literature, and film. Among the most famous is the Academy Award-winning film Amadeus, 1984, which dramatizes his life and explores his complex relationships, including the legendary rivalry with Antonio Salieri. While not entirely historically accurate, the film captures the spirit of Mozart's genius and the intrigue of his era, introducing his story to new generations. Beyond Amadeus, Mozart's life has been the subject of books, operas, and other creative works that celebrate his contributions to music, while examining the personal and professional struggles he faced. These portrayals highlight the timeless fascination with Mozart's brilliance and the challenges that defined his life. Today, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart is celebrated as a musical genius whose influence knows no bounds. His compositions, from symphonies and operas to chamber music and choral works, remain a cornerstone of classical music. Pieces like The Marriage of Figaro, Don Giovanni, and Symphony No. 41 continue to be performed and studied, demonstrating the enduring appeal of his artistry. Mozart's ability to blend technical mastery with emotional expression set him apart from his contemporaries and established a standard of excellence that has inspired musicians and composers for centuries. His work reflects the breadth of human experience, from joy and triumph to sorrow and introspection, making his music as relevant today as it was in the 18th century. Mozart's life may have been brief, but his contributions to music and culture are eternal. His genius, creativity, and resilience in the face of challenges remind us of the transformative power of art. Through his music, Mozart continues to connect with audiences across the world, proving that true artistry has no expiration date. The legacy of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart is not just one of extraordinary talent, but of enduring inspiration, ensuring that his name and his works will be cherished for generations to come. Did Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart truly fall victim to poisoning? Or was his letter a product of fear and illness? The mystery surrounding his death has captivated historians and fans alike for centuries. Despite countless theories and investigations, the true cause of Mozart's death may remain a mystery forever. His letter, in which he expressed his belief that he was being poisoned, adds a haunting layer to his story, leaving room for speculation and intrigue. Whether it was a reflection of his declining health or a genuine premonition, the letter has become an integral part of the narrative of his life and death. The ambiguity surrounding his demise only enhances the mystique of Mozart, a figure already larger than life. His death at just 35 years old, at the height of his creativity, feels like a loss not only to his contemporaries, but to the world as a whole. Regardless of the circumstances of his death, Mozart's life and music remind us of the extraordinary power of art to transcend time and space. His compositions continue to resonate deeply with audiences, bridging centuries and connecting people across cultures. From the sublime harmonies of The Marriage of Figaro to the haunting beauty of the Requiem, Mozart's music speaks to the breadth of human emotion and experience. It is a testament to his genius that his works remain as relevant and impactful today as they were in the 18th century. The mystery of Mozart's death may never be solved, but his legacy endures as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the timeless power of creativity. His life was a brief but brilliant flame, and through his music, he continues to inspire and move millions around the world. Mozart's story is a poignant reminder that while life is fleeting, art has the ability to live on, crossing the boundaries of time and leaving an indelible mark on history.